In this video, I'm going to show you how I made these sausage rolls. First thing I did was to sift 4 cups of flour into a bowl. I'm going to add the ingredients and measurements in the description box. Then I added some baking powder and sifted that as well. Then I added some margarine. I used my hand to combine the butter and flour together, making sure I got all the margarine dissolved into the flour. Then I'm going to add 2 eggs. Now I'm not going to add everything because I need to use some of the egg for egg wash when I'm putting the before I put the sausage in the oven. So that's what I did. I'm going to add some cold water. Whenever you're making pie crust, it's always better to use cold ingredients. I'm going to use my hand to combine that. If you're making this at home, you want to start with little amount of water. Luckily for me, I put the right amount of water the first time, so the dough formed nicely without any hassle. I'm going to transfer that into a bowl and keep that in the fridge while I make the filling. I'm going to be using corned beef to make this filling. I had some corned beef lying around the house and I decided to use that. If you have some hot dog, you can blend it with some spices and use it. But this is what I had, so I'm going to use corned beef. I didn't end up using the entire corned beef I got. I think I used about two-thirds of it. Going to add some vegetable oil in a pan and add the corned beef. Now you can use the corned beef directly, but I like to season my corned beef a bit. So I'm going to add some suya seasoning to get like to introduce a nutty taste. Then I'm going to add this nutmeg based spice mix. Then I'm going to add just 1 cube. You want to be careful with the seasoning cube you are adding because corned beef has salt already. So I just use 1 cube. I'm just going to stir that slightly and take it out of the pan. It doesn't need to be cooked that much because it's processed already. I got the short crust out of the fridge and it's time to roll it out. I divided it into two, then I divided each into 5 pieces. If you are doing this for business, you want to measure it with you want to weigh it with a kitchen scale, but I was I just eyeballed it, then I tried to mold them into balls and kept them aside. I lightly floored the surface before rolling each ball out. Now I did my best to make sure I got a rectangle shape like you are seeing. That's going to help with the shape of the sausage. So I rolled everything out and kept them aside. I made sure to lightly flour before placing the next sheet of dough on it to prevent it from sticking together. After rolling everything, this is what I had. I'm going to trim the edges together. You can choose to do this, you can choose not to. I'm just going to trim three sides out, leaving one because that part is going to be tucked in when I'm rolling it out. I'm just going to do some trimming before I roll the sausage. I applied some egg wash to one part of the sausage before adding the filling. Then I carefully rolled that up. I did that for the rest of the sheets I rolled out. And this is what I had at the end of the day. I'm going to apply some egg wash to it. Then I'm just going to use a fork to add some design on it to make it look nicer. The short crust was so flaky. We've come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching.